Hello and servus. This is Simone. I'm so glad you are here today for a fun recap of February where I participated in InCoWriMo. InCoWriMo is International Correspondence Writing Month, and the goal is to send out a letter each day. Last year I participated as well, and I started strong but did not finish. And so this year I decided, if I want to send a letter every day, I need to prepare and so that I can set myself up for success. And that's exactly what I did. I made a list of people I would like to send some happy mail to. I prepared little goodie bags, and I'm going to talk about those in a second more. I decided that I would include a postcard in each one of the happy mails, and instead of writing directly on the postcard, which mainly consisted of postcards from my dear friend Brandy from her Instagram handle is @BrandyKincaid, and she sends out mail every month. You can subscribe to her Extravagant Hope mailer, and there's usually 1, 2, or 3 postcards included that I have been hoarding, and I decided that this would be the perfect opportunity to send an awesome postcard to friends. And so that they would be able to reuse that postcard and send it on to someone or stick it in their journal. I don't know what they're going to do with those postcards. I decided not to actually write on them, but to write the note that I was going to send to each person on a note paper. That was also quite a good idea because that meant that I was able to use up 28 cute note papers that I have been hoarding in my stash as well. So I wrote each person's note on that note paper and then stuck it on with some washi. And there is a little clip for the very last day of February. I decided to film myself writing that note. So you can see me preparing the goodie bags, and they consisted of basically 2 different parts. One was items from my stash, and here I'm cutting down some stickers from Daiso. I printed out this invitation. I unfortunately don't remember what it says, and I don't have the paper with me here. It is an invitation to leave stuff that is stopping you from being your best self, basically, behind, and be you, be all you, and just do whatever that means for you. That was a printable from Brandy Kincaid. From one of her subscriptions. She does send out a newsletter once in a while where usually there's a free printable included. So if you're not able and you don't want to get mail every month for whatever reason, but if you enjoy her artwork, subscribing to that pigeon post is a nice way to get stuff from her. So I'm collecting and gathering all the things. So items from my stash included some stickers, some note paper as well, because when you get a notepad, there's lots of pages on there. And then I gathered some things are sent to me by friends. So I'm really trying to minimize what I have in my stash. And so that was a good opportunity. I decided to add some stickers and all the things. I have a lot of sticker flakes. When I filmed this, I then decided to sit down and go through all of the sticker flakes I have in that box and in other boxes and just get rid of all of those that I wouldn't even feel comfortable sharing with other people because they're just so weird and random. And I decided not to send them to other people and just graze my trash bin with those. It felt really bad, but on the other hand, it was a good way to just make sure that everything that I send to other people is stuff that I would actually use myself. So yeah, so it was a little bit of my stash, and then also we have this little fun daily calendar from InCoWriMo. Again, another artist that you totally should look up and check out. And she does these little comic strips, and there's a daily comic for 365 days in 2022. And so I couldn't just get myself to throw them away. And since they were so wholesome, I decided to cut them down and include them in that Happy Mail as well. And then the last thing, and maybe the most important thing of this whole endeavor, was that in January, I started on my year of making journey. If you are following me on Ko-fi, you already know that. But if you don't, I invite you to check me out over there and see what I'm trying to work on. The subtitle is My Year of Making, where I'm trying to become an artist. Currently, I'm realizing that maybe I should totally rephrase that and consider myself an artist already, but I haven't found the focus just yet. But maybe that is something that I will get to realize and notice later on. Okay, so I embarked on a year of making, and this, knowing that I was going to participate in this year of making, triggered me to create some pieces that I would be able to include in this mail. So I made a sticker, a rainbow sticker, that I painted and drew, scanned, and then sent off to a sticker company so I could have a vinyl sticker made that I included in here. I was inspired by Lunar New Year and the Year of the Tiger to carve a tiger stamp. So I stamped a tiger stamp for every person, and hand cut, carved, printed, hand cut, and included that for each person in the Happy Mail. And then I wanted to make a envelope stamp that I could put on the outside of the envelopes when I was sending them to all the people. So I have this carving kit that my mom gave me when I was in maybe 3rd grade. I checked if we still had some of those rubbers that or erasers, that's what they're called here, sorry. This is how I started out stamp carving. My mom gave this carving kit to me and some cheap erasers, and then I embarked on that journey when I was still in elementary school. And I haven't carved a stamp in such a long time, but I was so inspired to carve stamps. So that's what I did. I carved a what is this called? Well, this eraser. And boy, it did not go as planned. I don't know if the tool is dull or if the eraser wasn't suitable for stamp carving. I know it's not the number one thing you should be using. There is actual carving material that you can, foam maybe, not sure, that you can use. And then I actually also watched some tutorials, and I really want to go back and carve this specific stamp again, because from watching, I have learned a lot, and I think this would lend itself very well to see if what I saw, if I can translate that into the stamp carving, and not just that, if I would be able to actually improve the stamp. That's something that I want to do, but I did also realize and notice while I was working on this that I am very, very excited to start and do things, but when it comes to practice, I am not your number one person. So I really have to make myself do the thing. And during February, which has never been my favorite month to begin with, I think it is the last month before spring actually starts. It just, I don't know, I never feel my best self. I start into February with the best intentions, with the feeling that this year I'm going to turn it around. But for some reason, it never quite happens, and I just drag myself through each day. Basically, that's what happens. And for some reason, today is March 1st. Today I noticed how light it is outside, even though the sky isn't blue, the sun isn't shining, there's clouds in the sky. It feels different. And I know for sure that that's not because it's March. It suddenly changed, but February is like the last and hardest month to get through for me, before I see things changing and know that spring is actually coming. It's getting lighter outside, and I'm not necessarily happy, but this just lifts me up so much that I can then continue on with my life. So in that sense, InCoWriMo was a really good thing to get through February. I had something to look forward to every day. I had a purpose. I needed to get a letter out. Everything was prepared. The envelope, I addressed the envelopes in like 3 sittings. So I just decorated and addressed them, put the stamp on, everything. So the only thing that I had to do was take a postcard, take a note paper, write the personalized note for the person, and then put it in the envelope, close it, and drop it into the mailbox. And that's what I was able to do. And it worked. It felt really, really good. And then I was also very drawn to creating some kind of art because I embarked on this year of making. I wanted to include something that was related to love, because February is the month where Valentine's is happening. So that was like the closest thing that I could think of. But what could I include? And then I had this genius thought, which then later I realized that somebody else, my favorite artist in the world, Brandy, had already made a sticker, which kind of was a bummer because for sure I knew that came from inside me. But unfortunately it did not. That was a bummer, and I really had a long time. I struggled a lot with the thought that even though I thought I was inspired and working from inside out, and it was my art and my phrase, that I kind of felt like a copycat. That was also something, besides all of the other stuff that I talked about, that wasn't really helping me getting back into this creative mode that I experienced when I was creating all the art for that InCoWriMo Happy Mail. So I created watercolor background splotches, things on Tomoe River paper because I really enjoy how the watercolor performs on that paper. And I struggled quite a bit with the thought of how am I going to make art? So I went back and thought, what do I enjoy? What media do I enjoy? What would I love to work on? And then I said, well, go back to my roots, go back to creating watercolor splotches on Tomoe River paper and go from there. And then I used my typewriter to type out the "Let Your Love Be Louder" phrase on some random piece of paper, and typed it out, and then created a collage that I'm going to show you in just a second. And when I think about that "Let Your Love Be Louder" phrase, it feels so right. It's something that I think I need to repeat for myself all the time, that if I love maybe people who are homophobic, maybe people who are racist, and maybe my brain, who is also sometimes quite homophobic and racist, because that's just how the way that I was brought up. And there's so many stereotypes, that's not the right word, to get rid of, that are just kind of internalized. So we all need to do the work to be able to let our love be louder. So I need that phrase on my wall. So I made 2 collages. I scanned them in. I edited them a teeny tiny bit in Procreate, and then I cut them with my Silhouette. And then I also worked in Procreate to make this tiger stamp into a digital image, and made it available on Ko-Fi or Ko-fi, still don't know how to pronounce that, as a free download, which really, it feels really good to be able to do all these things. And then this is the envelope design that I kept consistent for the whole month. I stamped the date that I sent out this letter. I stamped all the stamps that you can see there. The bottom bear is from Geraldine C. She is in a creative bubble, and that's a bear stamp. And then I just made a speech bubble for the address, and I kept the envelopes the same all through the month. And then I went into packing mode again and packed all the things that I had created or printed from friends, free printables from friends. I wrote a letter what each of these items are and why I am sending these. And then here is the Liz Climo daily calendar, and I put it all into the already prepped bag with the note paper and the stickers and the washi flakes. Put them all together, and then I put them in the envelopes, and then I sent them out. And I can't tell you how accomplished I feel that I was able to pull this off. I would love to do this all the time, but I guess if I really want to send out something like that, I do have to put in a lot more thought. It was a really great start to the year, to just to this year of making, to see that I am actually capable of creating different kinds of art. I am able to learn Procreate. If I need to dive deeper, I will definitely have to invest more time and learn more skills, but it's accessible. I can cut stickers if I wanted to do that. I can send stickers out to someone and to a company and have them make stickers for me. I can, what else can I do? I can carve stamps. I can explore all the media that I am interested in, and I can make something. And I'm able to pull through and write a note every day for 28 days. And I actually, even when I made my list, I had to cut down some people because I found more than 28 people that I wanted to send mail to, which is another thing that feels really awesome. There is more than 28 people in the stationery community that I feel connected to, that I want to send something to. Some I don't know very well, but I know them well enough from social media that I feel like they would like receiving this mail. Some I haven't talked to in a long time. Some are pen pals that I have greatly neglected in the past 6 months, and those I actually sat down and wrote a little bit more than just a teeny tiny note. Yeah, so that was a really great start to the year of making. I have already made another teeny tiny journal. This is the very last note that I wrote for InCoWriMo, but I'm actually going all the way through March 3rd, and then I'm going to stop and continue and focus on other parts of this journey. Let me know if, I don't know, I don't even have a question for you. I'm just so happy that I was able to pull this off. I'm so grateful that you are part of this journey. And if you haven't, check out the Ko-fi, download the printable. I hope to see you soon. And I love that you are part of my little bubble on YouTube. Peace out.